Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dead Space 3. Now, I did realize as I was sitting here on the main screen that there is kind of a spoiler-laden teaser video that plays, but I wouldn't really complain about it because most people would have just hit A to start the game when loading it, particularly on PC anyway, so you wouldn't have seen it. There's been lots of examples I've seen of other games where it just immediately loads into a cutscene or even forces a cutscene on you when you first start the game that are way worse. Apparently we're 19% complete with the game, which that's a little shocking, less than 4 hours into the game, meaning this is a 20-hour game that is somehow going to try and make want you to play it for a lot more than 20 hours. At least that seems like that would be the case. I guess continue from the last save is what you'd want, although continuous story also makes a lot of sense, and so there's some confusion there. There was one thing I thought about here. If the black marker, the original marker, is this item that was found in the Gulf of Mexico on Earth, does that mean at some point the black marker either just completely failed because it was sent to Earth by some aliens and landed in the Gulf of Mexico and didn't turn every human into necromorphs, or maybe it was sent to do something completely different besides turning humans into necromorphs? I suppose that is also a possibility. Or did it somehow succeed and create humans in the first place? It would be funny if it turned out that the marker system was some form of evolution, at least in the minds of whatever ancient alien species created it, and then necromorphs is the next evolution of that. It would also be funny if it turned out the black marker was the thing that like killed the dinosaurs or something, and that would be funny too, to see not a real game where you have necromorph dinosaurs running around, although you could probably make a game around that idea, zombie dinosaurs, but to just see like a cutscene shown of alien footage showing the zombie dinosaurs killing other dinosaurs. There is something that has come up in my mind here. Each one of these upgrades gives you 25 hit points. But what is the value of 25 hit points? And each one armor reduces your... each of these upgrades gives you 5% more armor. But what is the value of 1% of armor? Particularly in a horror game like this, it's not like we're getting shot by guns. It's not like we've just run and we get hit by a bullet and a bullet takes out maybe 1 bar of life on our back, or maybe at the very beginning it takes out 3 or 4 bars of life. Almost always when we get attacked by a necromorph, it's taking 3 or 4 bars of life out from under us, and almost never are we killed because our life is just at 0 from attacks on necromorphs. We almost always are killed because the necromorph has grabbed us and activated a grab mechanic. Which floor? Let's see. Locate the tram station. Alright, well, we can go to 1 or 2. By default, it says 2. Seems like we're on 3. So wouldn't it make more sense to go down to 2 in a linear fashion? We'll see if our objective, which tells us where things are anyways, you can't activate it right now. Interesting. It almost feels like that would be a false choice, and it would just break you anyways. you still are in a situation where a lot of zombies don't appear from corpses too. It would be a mistake if every single corpse was guaranteed to be a zombie. This is interesting that you've got like this music playing, and you have these kind of country Native American dream catcher thought. So it does seem like this ship was probably run by Native American people. We found an artifact, although we haven't really found a lot of artifacts. We missed a lot in the game, and I think we're going to miss a lot in general just because of multiplayer. Pause now if you want to read. Here's the last line. You can't really zoom in to see these pictures. There's really not anything that happens when you click the left stick, so it would make a lot of sense to be able to zoom in at that point.
Ship recorder on. All hands stand by for
Can we
deceleration.
walk around from this area, or will it get quiet?
Roger that, Val. You will address me as commander while we're on the bridge.
You got it, darling. Retro thrusters engaged. Whoa! Easy now.
I don't think you really can walk away from these playing things. Even if it doesn't get quiet, you are in a bad situation where a zombie might jump out or a necromorph might jump out anywhere.
Sikowski, hail Admiral Graves. Kettle, report to Cradle Ops. This is your show now. Let's deploy the ships. Recording off.
More than likely, the turn it off phrase implies that you're going to turn off something that is actually actively hindering the markers, not something that is actively going to hinder them. So you're probably going to accidentally turn on the markers, if anything. One rate of fire upgrade. We still are waiting to see if there's going to be some system that happens. Alright, text log. It's very easy to run through a game like this. Pause now if you want to read when you're not reading the dialogue. Even the first game, I think, was pretty bad about that idea of not really having your gameplay. Right, so slowly rotate the left stick to find the blue points, and then press A, and we have a certain amount of time that we need to do it 3 times for a hacking minigame.
It looks like our shuttle's in the aft section of the ship. I'm updating our locators now.
Okay, just tell me it'll get us to the nearest shipping lane.
If we can get it spaceworthy again. Judging from the diagnostic, it's a real piece of shit.
We can get it to work, can't we?
We're swimming in a sea of spare parts. I can get it to fly.
Yeah, sure. We'll make this work.
That's an odd pause. Floating body or stuck body. No bodies here, just blood. Seemingly not able to pick up the fire extinguishers, nor explode them. I'm wasting bullets all over the place. What's interesting here is this feels like this would be a solo-only hacking minigame, so I have no idea how that works in co-op, other than maybe they just have one person decide to do it. Maybe there's some necromorphs that appear. This is a weird game in that you're constantly encouraged to aim because of the flashlight, whereas every other game, as bad as it has been in the past, has only let you really use a flashlight when you are not aiming a gun, or the right way to do it, obviously, is just to let a flashlight always be working. Like, there's plenty of mount points on this guy's face where a flashlight could be projecting light, as far as his suit. A lot of this technology really does feel like it could just be modern day technology. This telekinesis stuff still hard to deal with. Here we have a mess hall map. And here we have a pinball game. Doesn't look like any pinball I recognize. I'd like to be able to play it, but as a fan of pinball, but you'd think there might be an achievement for punching it and tilting the game, being a pinball table, since pinball tables are known for being able to tilt. But no, just a jump scare. Yeah. The idea that you would have a spaceship and you'd have pinball machines of any sense either is kind of a misallocation of history. Like there'd have to be a whole wave of a next generation of, let's see, and that didn't work. We've got little bug-like creatures, which I guess it's the ones with the, that's the ones with the legs. I wonder if we went to the wrong way. It wants us to go this way, so let's go this way and check this out. Yep. And you can just shoot these guys from a distance until they drop something, and you know at that point they're dead because they almost always drop something. So this is a shipping container maze section. And we just got another item. See, yeah, this is the way you die. I think they've probably increased the amount he cusses when you're stomping things too. But yeah, that is really just a highlight of how increasing your health obviously is kind of the only option you have, but it kind of doesn't fully make sense either. The numbers don't quite add up. Here we have something labeled organic, which is that some kind of alien egg? And here you have what looks like a animal carrier, a dog or cat or something. Is this one of those rooms where we're gonna come back around to this point, or was I supposed to have had enough tungsten to craft another door? And you're not going to have any kind of height advantage because they never summon anything.
Wow. An old scavenger bot. This'll come in handy.
Okay. Press to equip the scavenger bot. Press what on the D-pad? Down? Up? Press and hold left trigger to follow the radar. And then press right trigger to deploy. Which, honestly, is this where we're supposed to deploy? So we're still tutorializing. Bot will find resources and return them to the bench. And I assume the bot will not be interfered with ever by Necromorphs. I got my wrong gun enabled. So we know that we can upgrade bots with a personality core. Doesn't seem like you can really do anything with them otherwise. We're getting a weird sound effect. Certainly. There is definitely a question though as far as, is it magically finding resources in an area just because of a timer, or is it actually finding the resources that I'm just finding and using telekinesis to break and collect? Because those are fairly two different things. If I just like exhausted all the resources in this area, I kind of saw it. Also, the game feels like it's wasn't running very smooth there for a second. That's interesting. That's potentially a new zombie type that is just the bottom half of the torso. So I guess that kind of does make sense. That is about the only place you could go with this. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this one, even though you could telekinesis it and say try and shoot it in that general direction. I don't think you'll actually kill anything until it triggers and jumps out of a vent. I'll take some health too while I'm climbing this ladder. That took 2 shots when that ideally would have only wanted to take 1. Is that a safe head? I'm gonna stomp around here just to make sure that there isn't one of those head creatures that are really small. And see, we're getting that rattle sound again. So either that's an intentional sound, or there's just something about these doors in particular that the physics at the higher resolution just can't handle. It says some kind of property. I don't know what it really is meaning to say. I've got them all crawling on me. Interesting. Why did my gun switch? I guess I just didn't have enough. Didn't have bullets in it fast enough. Wow, I don't even have any health kits, so taking that one health kit is questionable. No text log. I kind of had forgotten completely about the whole hide Rosetta thing. Pause now if you want to read this. So that's a thing too. Alright. So we want to check this bench for a few things. We now have this hydraulic engine and a heavy standard frame and a rate of fire. But we can still only really hold 2 guns. So I think it would be weird to want to change anything. Yeah. The only thing we were thinking is possibly crafting the clip support, which we would still need a ton of tungsten for, and that's all this is really going to turn into, is that we need a ton of tungsten for everything. Tip. Yeah, that's... We would need more semiconductors, I guess, to make a better tip, which... Directed ejection field. Would just make it wider. There might be an argument around that. We have a ton of scrap metal. We don't have enough tungsten to upgrade any of this. And I guess we can turn rate of fire on here and damage here. As far as the lower upgrade tool, which is just the rotary cuff module, which just rotates the gun. So I guess when I was rotating the gun, I was doing... Well, no, it's not really doing any damage at all, so in this instance, it's probably better to just have another rate of fire upgraded and see if that actually is increasing the rate of fire in the upper tool. I don't think it actually is. Let's see. Rate of fire would be speed. Take that off, it does nothing. So we'll just put it there for fun, but yeah, it doesn't actually seem like that's doing anything. No cutscene for no reason. We have... Apparently we could upgrade these weapons, which probably wouldn't hurt to think about doing that. Since we're sitting on this stuff anyways. We don't have any new blueprints, so without massive amounts of tungsten, which the only thing I could think right now is that the tungsten will be found by the scavenger bots, and only the scavenger bots. Yeah, I'm still very far away from having enough semiconductors to make the shotgun. If I was going to try and craft something here with the heavy standard frame, I could put a plasma core on it, or a telemetry spike on it, or military engine, or a Tesla core. So it doesn't seem like there's much difference between doing that and then using a compact standard frame and putting the same kind of weapons on them. So what's the difference between a heavy standard? It just turns it into a two-handed gun at that point, which maybe makes an argument that there are 8 different types of weapons with a lot of modifications in this game, but I'm not super impressed by that. Now, here, we wanted to ask this question. If it costs 40 somatic gel to get a small amount of health, and 100 somatic gel to get a medium amount of health, then is it does the medium amount of health equate to 2 small things? It looks visually like it does. So this should be worth 80, so theoretically you should just make a bunch of these. Theoretically I should just make a bunch of these anyways. Otherwise, what I could do is just wait on the somatic gel, put that away. If I was to sell this, this would give me 51 transducers. I think there is possibly an argument to doing that. Then if I was to sell 20 scrap metal, I think that's fine too. Of course, if you don't have any scrap metal, then, and you don't have any ammo, you're just out of luck at that point. There is not going to be anything that helps you. Where are the... Where is the other thing, though? Scavenger bot waiting at bench. Says it's waiting at bench. Where? There we go. Just took a while. So, repeat resources deposit complete, bot ready for redeployment. So that happened really fast, and unless there's been a modification there, this is probably the first Stasis free concept where they've given you a lot of resources. What I'm noticing here is there is a collectible called ration seals. I have no idea what that is. But all of a sudden, it seems like I got a lot of... I'll craft one of these. It seems like I got a lot of stuff now that is theoretically more craftable. Except for tungsten, which still we only got a small amount of tungsten. Let's see, if we were gonna go this, construct a new circuit. Would we have enough semiconductors to craft anything? No, because each one of these upgrade things costs tungsten anyways. And unless I was able to sell these things, which I can, I suppose, but they don't seem to give you tungsten either. Yeah, you can't do anything with that. Okay. So, up now is on the scavenger bot. And the scavenger bot looks like it is telling me I have to go down before I can deploy it again. Alright. Once again, the game is spending a lot of time having you like it's spending a lot of time having you work at the bench, and I just don't appreciate that. Wow, that Necromorph just like blocked every single interesting, and now he's stuck behind this door. It just did not animate the transition from human to Necromorph at all. And I don't know if that's because I wasn't in the room, or if that was because they are just not going to go for that anymore. Well, I'm going to start running out of bullets fairly fast here. I guess I could potentially try and stasis people, but I'm not sure if stasising really changes much. Never really figured out what these machines are supposed to be, whether they are just supposed to be cigarette machines or what. +1 reload, +1 damage, which arguably is better than what we have had in the past. So we might want to equip that. And I guess the guys with the arms are I don't know, like, I don't know if I should be more scared of the Necromorphs with the spike arms, or if I should be scared of the Necromorphs with the zombie, with the axe arms. It's kind of a mixed bag. Starting to feel like too much of this game is built around the idea of just walking up and pressing buttons.
Collision detected. Please report to cradle operations to remove the obstruction.
Okay.
Guys, something's blocking the tram system.
Cradle op should be nearby. You can see the tracks from there.
Thanks, Buckle. I'll check it out.
I still feel like we may have missed an entire floor. Now we're going up higher. And so we should play along with this to see if maybe this would reset. But apparently it won't. At a certain level, also, you're going to need more than one scavenger bot going at one time, or you're going to ideally want to have more than one scavenger bot going around. These guys are not particularly proving to be much of a challenge on normal, which I'm fine with that. What I think I'm going to kind of quickly find out, though, is I'm going to run out of spare parts box. Contains resources and so you go, it's kind of a loot box, basically. Yeah, and then you've got the high frame rate, weird physics going on. It's not supposed to be jittering like that. I guess we'll take 1 health and hope that that was a small health. Yeah, that was a small health, and that filled like two bars. Okay. So now we're going somewhere else. Max load 500k. These areas are just so small that if you were attacked in them, it would be a pretty unfair fight. And the door just opened automatically.
Hey, Commander. You there?
If you're gonna ask about the cryo boxes, forget it.
Okay, I see the problem now.
Oops.
Someone left a bunch of cargo on the tracks.
Can you clear it?
I should be able to. I'll get to that shuttle and aft section one way or another.
There definitely was a section in the first game where you went to this bridge and compact directed ejection field. Seems like we're getting every resource we'd want to craft anyways. You get to this bridge, and then from the bridge you could see a lot of interesting stuff. It seems like they've expanded on that concept too much, and now we are looking out of the windows a lot more than we really need to, particularly for a horror game. Like, the windows honestly are a very cheap way to turn a horror game into an action game. Pause now if you want to read this. Yeah, and it doesn't really feel like you're going to come back and get and open these lockers. If you do, it would almost be a new game plus. So you need a tram to get to the other side. So there is a different, like, side to this whole ship that's lower that we missed. So we may be on the way back, need to search again.
Hey, Commander. You there?
If you're gonna ask about the cryo boxes, forget it.
Cryo boxes? These are coffins, Deets. They're freezing soldiers on the planet and stowing them in our cargo hold. What's the story?
You know I can't talk about it.
Valerie, come on. You owe me, remember?
Look, I don't know much more than you do. It's the deep dig teams. They send them into that godforsaken hole and... well, when they come back, there's something wrong. Look, just get them stowed. I've got Mahad breathing down my neck.
Fine. But this isn't going to end well, mark my words.
So that's probably where a lot of the Necromorphs came from, although all you're really explaining at this point is how Necromorphs are on the ship, with an explanation that it isn't just signals from the marker beacon that you assume is coming from the planet, or signals from the planet from something that isn't the marker beacon. So compact directed ejection field, +1 reload, +1 damage. Inside the resources box we have a bunch of tungsten, 50 tungsten, which is like way more than we've been able to get anywhere else. More ration seals, transducer, somatic gel. We also have +1 damage. Okay. So let's start by making one of these. Should I make a second one of those? I don't know. Could we make anything as far as a blueprint after making one of those? No, except for a basic line gun, which I think I've already crafted, so no interest there. As far as weapons upgrades, we have a... what is this right now? 1 rate of fire +1 damage, 1 damage +1 clip. We could instead 1 damage +1 reload. But honestly, I don't think that would be any better. And then Suppose what we would want to do is spend the tungsten to upgrade our gun. Is there possibly anything else we would want to do? Like wood crafting. We still don't have enough for ammo support after creating the tungsten pry bar. So we couldn't do that. So we could put this electric charge on our gun as an attachment to which seems like can we put that as attachment 1? No. So are there just straight up 2 different types of attachments? It seems like there are. Ammo box would cost no tungsten at all. Interesting. And would automatically reload after emptying a clip. Do I need that? Not really. I have a ton of scrap metal at this point too. I probably should start thinking about crafting some bullets. I could make a scope too that wouldn't cost any tungsten, but it would cost a lot of semiconductors for no reason. I could make an ammo sweeper, but that again, that really is just going to take away from gameplay mechanics for no good reason. Let's see. Alloy bolts, plasma fuel, hydraulic engine, which that honestly I think may just be straight up to attack people using physical force. Could I possibly make that my lower tool? Yes, but then I would have to remove the rotation ability, which I'm not sure you want to do. Yep. So it's giving you a lot of options, but none of them are kind of great options. How much ammo do I have? I have to go over here and test this out. I'd think. I'm going to once again sell this for more transducers. I'm going to stick with the ammo I have. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to come over to crafting items, and I'm going to make more of these. I'm going to make 3 of those. There is almost an argument to making a second bar, but I don't want to do that. Instead, what I want to do is upgrade here. And then damage, reloading damage. Our next upgrade here would cost 20 tungsten, which, yeah, at a certain level here, this gun is just not going to be able to do as much damage as what obviously some other guns can do, but I'm not sure it matters. Let's see if maybe, just maybe, this indicator here was telling us to go down to this point. Nope. Okay. Is there anything else to deal with then? No, I think I've made my decisions. Now I'm gonna have to live with them. I feel like more than like we're gonna end up in space, and then we're just gonna end up flying around. Okay. So left stick to rotate. And then what are we trying to do here? Left trigger. Okay, so this is some kind of puzzle where we lock them in as a square. Alright, so it's just rotational puzzles. Alright. I think we can figure that out. Make something fit in a square. Which parts fit? Well, I thought this would be easier than it seems, but nope. Game? Yeah, that visually did not play well. But I guess the idea is that the yellow parts are the parts that go inward, so we are looking for some pattern that... No, that wasn't the case in that instance. That was perfectly aligned already. I bet these aren't randomized. Yeah, I bet this is just the same answer each time. So if somebody was gonna speedrun this game, they could probably do that. Notice that there in that box is a Necromorph wandering around. It's trying to get out.
Warning. Cargo fault in Bay 4. Containment breach detected. Biological anomalies are present. Please use caution.
So now we've got
cleared. Resuming
another
tram operations.
thing. Yeah, it seems like at some point, if you buy them, you could have as many as 5 scavenger bots. But in reality, I don't think you're actually going to ever have that much. So, unless there's something special about... Well, that's interesting because now we've got just like this zombie electric damage we're doing. So it's shooting me with a acid that really slows me down. Where I saw some somatic gel sitting around here somewhere to pick up. I think that probably just used the half. Yeah, it used the medium one. The system here is programmed very badly, and I think probably intentionally so that you use the bigger health kits first. Which means I should have then just stored the See, is this supposed to be a horrific scene, or is this just a quick time event? kind of doing a massive amount of damage. I don't particularly like the fact that we're this might be a hallucination, but maybe not. I don't like the fact that it's making an electric sound. I don't mind it doing electric damage. I don't mind it showing electric damage. But we're now in Cradle Ops. Apparently I can just deploy this here and let that look for things.
Dr. Edwards, can you come to Cradle Ops, please? I need your help with the incoming cryo boxes. Hey, Chuck? You there?
Oh, screw off, Sam. My job was flying your asses over here, not wiping them once we arrived.
You're a lazy prick, Tucker. You know that, right?
I come from a long line of lazy pricks, Sam. Get Sikowski to help you with your little monster farm. That brown noser will do anything to impress the commander.
This mission is a group effort, Tucker. And one of these days, you're gonna have to take one for the team.
One of these days, Sam. But not today.
See, what would be funny is if he was still alive, but this is supposed to be a 100-year-old ship, so unless humans had the ability to freeze themselves, the odds of that happening are very low. Notice how all those objects just drop down into the ground. The scavenger bot also just kind of took off. This is supposed to be a military uniform. It kind of looks like a baseball uniform. But I guess the SCARF is military of the time. Which, if this game had more story and I trusted the writers, I'd almost see how there might be a theory or a theme going on here that the militaries come and go and the authorities come and go.
Hey guys, if you're running low on ammo, don't forget your kinesis module. Here, I found this recording when I was stuck on Titan Station.
This is weird.
Okay. Whoever sees this, listen up. You can use kinesis to pull blades off dead ones and shoot it back at them. Watch. Watch. I stayed alive 3 hours using this trick. You see? Just shoot it back at them.
So they just straight up wanted to tutorialize you on that, and I wonder if that was triggered because I've just not done that, or if that always plays at that point. I'm not sure. Like, it doesn't at the moment feel like there's a lot of opportunities to pull something like that off. Let's see if we can get the camera to work a little bit better so you can read this. Pause now if you want to read this. So yeah, I can grab this and shoot it that way. But I've been doing this the whole time anyways. So clearly I knew about the kinesis. I just wasn't using it to actually attack the things. Which honestly, not much of a trick at this point because I've managed to upgrade my weapon greatly. And I bet they didn't intend for you to be able to stick a spike through the door like that. That was too many bullets. We are wasting a lot of bullets still. I feel like I'm twisting this gun a lot, too. Right. Should I use an a health kit right now? Probably not. So this feels like this is the exact same area we were in before, and that we have just gone full circle. I suppose that would make sense, because that was where we were going in the first place. So the lower floor seemingly wasn't much. This guy is a bit of a regenerator.
This one's regenerating!
How are you going to kill it?
I'm not!
Let's go ahead and reload. Find this. Please. Go ahead and run from the zombies in general. Grab whatever that was. On the way, grab whatever that is. Go through here. Go through here. He hit me, so very slowly he hit me. Let's see, running in circles. The problem here is we need a stasis refill, and I didn't have any stasis things on me. Okay. Alright, so I boned that up fairly badly. So let's go ahead and use the bench. What's funny is I assume we're not going to just lose the scavenger bot. So reload, heal, unlock this. Come over here and use this. Run over here. I'm gonna come over here, and stasis does not recharge that fast. Come on.
The tram will arrive shortly. Please stand by.
2 regenerators now? Seriously? So you're just in this action cutscene, and I may just have to straight up choose to They're outside. I think we're fairly safe. Activate mid station.
God, I hate those things. Okay, I made it to the tram. Looks like it stops at the mid and aft station.
The aft station's where the shuttle is parked.
And what about mid station?
Well, that would be the conning tower. Hey, now this is interesting. Records indicate a number of useful tools and salvage were signed out from storage there by a Lieutenant Tucker Edwards. Could be worth a look.
Thanks. If I check it out, I'll let you know. Isaac out.
Interesting, it gives you that prompt after the fact of you moving.
Now arriving. Conning tower.
Okay. So there's some questions here. Certainly as far as we do this like optional objective section, which isn't really being labeled as an objective section, optional objective section. We are now at chapter 6 of 19 chapters. I would hope we don't run into the regenerators too often, because that is going to wreck us very fast. We certainly are adding 2 more to our game. Here we have a co-op door, which I think we probably can open. And then it will eventually let us go this way. We have a flickering light and candles. There's a lot of glowing things in this game. And we can see that there's quite a lot of collectibles in this area. I don't think it probably would hurt too much to take an a health kit right now. But we'll leave it at that and see if maybe we can get enough resources to upgrade our health, and maybe that'll get us a full upgrade. The scavenger is now waiting at the bench, so I assume the scavenger bots are just going to always be waiting at every bench. But there does seem like there is a easy possibility here that you may be in a side area like this and you just can't really deploy the scavenger bot, and thus you won't get those resources. I am not sure at all if these resources aren't fairly procedurally generated, and thus you may get random amounts of stuff. Sometimes you'll get a good return, sometimes you'll get a bad return. I also wouldn't be surprised if it was very scripted and you get just barely enough resources for what you would like to have. If this was a horror game, being limited on resources and then having a scavenger bot all of a sudden reward you with large amounts of resources is weird. Also, finding storage crates and loot boxes or something very similar to loot boxes, although you don't actually seem to pay for them, but that is also weird. It, much like this suit, just screams how this game is trying to be an action game instead of the horror game series that it once was. Is there anything else to say at this point? These are database entries, and so I'm not sure if I missed database entries or if there's just... It would indicate to me that there probably are just total things that you missed or could have only gotten in co-op as far as database entries, or maybe things you can only get in a New Game Plus. But I can't imagine myself really wanting to play in New Game Plus. This one has like a ton of extra stuff, whereas this one seems to have a ton of stuff. This chapter specifically seems to be very short. I wonder if you could potentially skip all the way past chapter 6 and just have gone to chapter 7 by going to the forefront of the ship of the ship. Bringing back the regenerators is not really a mistake by any means, but it does feel a little wonky. Because it's once again an instance of them not really bringing in any new characters or any new content. It's just rehashing the old games. And yeah, you'd almost expect to see the regenerators much earlier in the game so that there might be more of a promise of new content, but you're not really seeing that. There's, I guess, also kind of a weirdness in that you can pause the game, and that doesn't really show you anything. And then you can bring up your inventory, but it also kind of doesn't show you anything. I can't look at the weapon stats, for instance. Like, yeah, I can't really see some of the things that are only specifically visible at the bench, which logically you would have liked to see the game evolve and have the benches be integrated into the suits, and you could just upgrade at any point on the fly in the game, particularly if you are turning the game into an action experience instead of a horror experience. You don't really need that artificial limitation anymore of not having somebody be overpowered, because one would assume that the enemies are being scaled to your difficulty level anyways. And so you can't become supremely overpowered where you're one-shot killing zombies. Although, yeah, even now, it does seem like I am 2-shot and 3-shot sometimes killing zombies, which doesn't indicate that we are going to probably have to consider removing or replacing our gun, which would feel very bad, but I just don't know how else you take out the regenerators, for instance, because even when you are severing the limbs with these guns, they're still staying alive. Anyways, we've gone an hour. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.